Hi, welcome to this video. It deals with equations of lines, specifically writing equations in slope-intercept form. This is a basic video about when given the equation of a line, how to rewrite it in this form. So slope-intercept form is called as such because it allows us to be able to read the slope of the line and the y-intercept of the line just by looking at it. And you've probably heard it's called y equals mx plus b. And we've seen here where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay? So, just as a general rule, anytime we look at an equation that's written in that form, this is information we could say about the graph without making the graph. So let's take a look here for a second at some examples. Okay? We have y equals 2x plus 4. This is a situation where the slope is the multiplier of x, also known as the coefficient. In this case, it's 2. And the y-intercept here is 4. Okay? In the next example, where it says y equals 7/3 x minus 5, again, the slope is the multiplier of the x term, which is, again, called the coefficient. And if we notice here where the form says plus b, it's fine here that it says minus b, in the fact that it says minus 5, because what we're saying here is that the y-intercept is just, in fact, negative 5. Okay? And then in this last example, we have y equals negative x, which is also in slope-intercept form. And we could see that it could be rewritten as y equals negative 1 times x plus 0, which is an equivalent equation to the one that's given. And then we can see that negative 1 is the slope and 0 is the y-intercept. Okay, so now some non-examples. Okay, and there's a little subtlety here when we look at this. This first one where it says 3y equals x plus 4. This is not y equals mx plus b because y is not by itself. It has a coefficient of 3. One thing you need to note, though, is that it could be made into y equals mx plus b form. Another example here, which is a non-example, is y equals x squared plus 4. Well, if you notice, the exponent of the variable term of x in y equals mx plus b form is 1, and in this, the exponent is 2. So not only is this not in y equals mx plus b form, but you can't make it into y equals mx plus b form because it's in fact not a line. Okay, so in a last non-example here where it says 2x minus 5y equals 12, you can see that this is not y equals mx plus b form because y and x are on the same side of the equation, and in the form of y equals mx plus b, it's not. So let's take a look at being able to write equations in slope-intercept form that can be written that way, even though they're not presented that way. So let me just move forward just for a second here and talk about these again. We talked about the fact that y equals x squared plus 4 can't be made into the equation of a line. So I'll just focus on these two for a moment. Okay? We'll talk about how to turn these equations into this form. Well, if we notice here, like we said, the coefficient of y is 3. And I can undo that with the inverse operation by dividing both sides of the equation by 3. And that would create y equals, and we see that it's 1x getting divided by 3, so it would be 1/3 x plus, and then 4 divided by 3 could be left as an improper fraction for an exact answer. And then we see here that this form is now legit in that I can see the slope is 1/3, and I can see the y-intercept is 4/3, y equals mx plus b. Okay, And on this next equation, it's going to take a little more work because if you notice here on the left side, you have x and y on the same side. And so you've kind of sit there and say, this -5 is a problem as a coefficient for the y, and this 2x term is a problem. So I'll sit there and say, well, I've got to get rid of the 2x. I've also got to get rid of the -5 that's multiplying the y. Well, just by using the properties of equality, you can do anything you want as long as you do it on both sides. I'll start by subtracting 2x from both sides. Okay, and then writing from left to right, we have 2x minus 2x is 0. -5y equals, and then we have 12 minus 2x, which they are not like terms. So I could write 12 minus 2x, but I'm actually going to choose to change the order and write the -2x first, and then positive 12. Why? Because the order of mx plus b is more easily read when we put it in this form. So now I still need to get rid of this -5, and since it's multiplying the y, I'll undo it with division. And again, you see that I'm dividing every term on both sides by -5. And then writing from left to right, -5 over -5 cancels. Y equals 2/5 times x minus 12 over 5, because it's a negative number. Excuse me. And we have here the slope is 2/5, and the y-intercept is -12/5, and this final form is in fact y equals mx plus b. And again, that's plus a negative, which is totally fine. So again, you know, it's about getting y by itself, okay? And y is by itself when it's the only thing on one side of an equation. Just go back to this example here. We saw that it was just a little bit of work to get y alone. It only took one operation. Here it took two. And again, it hinges on the idea of doing anything you want as long as you do it on both sides. The trick is picking the right operation that actually helps to get y by itself. So enjoy, watch again, practice, work hard, work hard.